Hello Internet family, Dan here from DansTube.TV, and today we are discussing the leaked Mavic 2 Photo, the next version of the Mavic Pro. So it looks like it's going to be called the DJI Mavic 2, not the Mavic Pro 2. So let's jump into it. Ha ha! The original Mavic Pro is one of the greatest drones of all time. It genuinely innovated the market. The design is so compact and interesting, the camera is fantastic, and overall this was just a killer in the market. So it does look like the Mavic 2 is coming very soon. DJI announced that there was an event coming on July 18th, where we all thought the Mavic Pro 2 was going to be popping out onto the scene, but it looks like they have postponed that one. We don't know when that's going to be coming. Hopefully maybe next month or at some point very soon. People were speculating maybe hardware wasn't ready, software wasn't ready, or maybe there was a change in financial situations in different countries and the pricing had varied too much. So they kind of wanted to wait until it was very stable and not fluctuating. So who actually knows the reason? I would say DJI would know the reason. I've now got the leaked image on the screen, and I'd love to know in the comments below what you think of this image, whether you think it's legit, what you would like to see from the Mavic 2, and just let me know in the comments below. Let's start a discussion. The first thing that stood out to me though was this completely redesigned camera. I was not expecting this kind of form factor, but it almost looks like a cube. It looks like the GoPro Session. Now, a very interesting design here, and it does look like they have improved the gimbal system and the camera protection here. The Mavic Pro, the original Mavic Pro, the gimbal system was not too secure, it was way too exposed to the environment, and a lot of reports were saying it was too easy to break, and the camera was just exposed to the environment. It was very easy to knock or bump around, where this one actually looks like it's encased in a really cool cube system, and the motors on the side look heavy duty as well, so hopefully this is going to be a better designed camera and gimbal system. When you look at the original Mavic Pro, you can't see this little grille that they've added to the side of the camera here in the picture, so potentially that could just be more aerodynamics, or maybe it's just a bit of a design change. But overall, when I look at the polish on this Mavic here, it's got a really great design, and I really do enjoy it. And the new one does look to have that grey finish to it, but it just looks like they've used a different finish, or maybe different materials for it. So that will be very interesting to see. It still looks like the propellers aren't the low noise propellers, they're just the basic propellers that you get with the original Mavic Pro. And then when we look at the image a little bit closer, we can see the side obstacle avoidance sensors. So potentially we could see 360-degree obstacle avoidance. So the picture doesn't actually show us the rear of the Mavic, and we can't really see underneath, but it's likely we'll see front, side, rear and bottom sensors. So that's technically a 360-degree obstacle avoidance. Doesn't look like there will be sensors on the top, but just make sure you don't try to fly up into a tree, I guess. It's not really that hard. The other thing is the foldable legs look very, very similar to the current version. Doesn't look too different there. The design itself looks very similar. It still looks like there's limited clearance from the camera and the ground here. Doesn't look like they've propped it up that much more than the original one. But then one thing that is really interesting to me, if you look off to the left, the bottom left of this picture here, you can see another smaller camera. So the camera on the Mavic 2 is potentially going to be a 1-inch sensor, which is really exciting and something that I would love to see in a foldable drone. So that is potential. But then when you look in the bottom left, you can see a smaller black camera that looks to be mounted to some sort of handheld gimbal system. So this could be very similar to what they did with the GoPro Karma, where they had the Karma grip, and you can just detach the camera and then put it on here. This does look like this is a possibility. If you look in the bottom left, you can see a record button, you can see the camera attached to some sort of handle, and it could mean that we could have detachable cameras, not lenses, but the entire camera could potentially come off. That would be a very interesting design, and it would be great if they included that grip as well, so then you can mount your camera and have just a handheld gimbal as well. That would be really fascinating, which again points to the fact that there might be two different camera sizes. There might be the 1-inch sensor, and then there might be a smaller one and more affordable one, which again leans towards the fact that there may be two versions of the Mavic 2. There is also a lot of discussion about a potential zoom lens. So if this camera system is removable, if it's a detachable lens or whether the entire camera can come off, That means that then there's potential for more lenses. We could have a zoom lens, we could have different size camera sensors, and there's potential for then more aftermarket care from DJI where they can release more camera systems in the future for the Mavic 2, and that would honestly be mind-blowing if they did that. I'm trying to compare the picture to the original Mavic Pro to see if there's any real drastic changes to the form factor. It does look like the battery is placed a little bit further back based on this little curve here. The sensors on the front look very similar. The propellers, like I mentioned, look very similar. It does look like the motors are slightly bigger though. Definitely slightly bigger in the picture compared to these motors here. And obviously you can see the rear sensors, or the side sensors, sorry, just on the back here in this perfect little notch that they've created, ready for the Mavic 2 by the looks of it. So it looks like the batteries are very similar. It looks like the release button though is a bit further back. It looks like it's in the middle of the plate here instead of further to the front. So just slight tweaks and changes to the design, but overall it's a very similar design. I'd be interested to see whether the batteries will fit, whether the Mavic Pro and Mavic Pro 2 will have interchangeable batteries. I don't know, it might be a different design there, it might just be slightly different. We would also really like to see an improvement in flight time, maybe 32 minutes. We saw the Platinum, the Mavic Pro Platinum, got up to 30 minutes. Now, 30 minutes is obviously unrealistic. You're not going to be getting 30 minutes, you're going to have to land before then. But up to 30 minutes of flight time. I'd love to see up to 32 minutes on the Mavic Pro 2. The new camera system looks amazing, and this new picture genuinely does look legit. So I'm excited to see that. Better motors, better camera, better battery system, and overall just a better design. And if this is an interchangeable lens or a detachable camera system, wow, DJI have done something insanely innovative if they genuinely do that. So it's been postponed at the moment. We won't see the event anytime soon, but I'd love to know in the comments below, what do you think is going to happen? Is this a legit leaked photo? Are we going to see something very similar to this at the press release? Thank you so much for watching though. Make sure to leave a comment below. Make sure to subscribe for more content. I will be picking up the Mavic Pro 2 when it is released. So there will be some really great content on the channel. Thank you so much for watching though. Have a fantastic day and peace out.